We hit them real hard, as you know, with those beautiful B-2 bombers. Recently knocked out their nuclear capability. But I'd rather do it the peaceful way, but they're very difficult people.
Just 1 week into war with Iran, the world is contending with rapidly changing events affecting lives, livelihoods, and the future of the Middle East. Here's what you need to know. Americans awoke Saturday to the sudden news of joint strikes in Iran by the U.S. and Israel, with President Trump vowing a massive operation and calling on Iranians to take over your government.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
The death toll has climbed quickly. Iran's supreme leader and dozens of senior officials and civilians confirmed dead, and soon after, the Pentagon's announcement of the first American casualties.
America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history. B-2s, fighters, drones, missiles, and of course, classified effects. All on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell, and always will be. A grateful nation honors the 4 Americans we have lost thus far and those injured. The absolute best of America. May we prosecute the remainder of this operation in a manner that honors them. No apologies, no hesitation, epic fury for them and the thousands of Americans before them, taken too soon by Iranian radicals. Before I turn it over to General Kane for the operational update, let me speak straight to you, the Joint Force, our warriors on the front lines. This is your moment. This is the generational turning point America has waited for since 1979, and since the rudderless wars of hubris, my generation, our generation, endured. Don't listen to the noise. Just stay focused. Our commander-in-chief is steady at the wheel. We face a determined enemy, but you are better. But we must prove it every single day. History doesn't care if we're tired, if we're scared, or if the fight feels big. It demands warriors who rise anyway. Peace through strength, the warrior ethos, lethality, unity of purpose, those are not slogans. They're the beating heart of what it means to wear the uniform, that uniform. You think clearly under fire, you act decisively in chaos, you uphold the Constitution, and you uphold our country without hesitation. We are not defenders anymore. We are warriors, trained to kill the enemy and break their will. History is watching. Be the force you swore an oath to be: focused, disciplined, lethal, and unbreakable. We will finish this on America First conditions of President Trump's choosing. Nobody else's, as it should be. And know this above all, President Trump and I have your back, always. Through fire, through criticism, through fake news, through everything. We unleash you because you are the best, most powerful, most lethal fighting force the world has ever seen. May Almighty God watch over you and his providential arms of protection extend over you. Godspeed, warriors, and keep going.
On Saturday, 28 February at 01:15 Eastern Standard Time, 9:45 a.m. local Tehran time, on the orders of the President of the United States, U.S. Central Command, under the command of United States Navy Admiral Brad Cooper, commenced Operation Epic Fury. As I said, I'm going to walk you through the initial phases of the operation. But first, I want to express my deep condolences and the condolences of the Joint Force to the Department of War personnel killed and wounded in actions thus far. As the Secretary said, they're heroes and represent the best of our nation has to offer. They're true examples of what selfless service means. Our deepest and heartfelt condolences are with their families, their friends, and their units.
Questions soon mounted about the reason for the strikes and their timing. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters before briefing top lawmakers on the Iran war that the U.S. got involved after learning there was going to be an Israeli action.
The President declared war, and does Congress
No.
have to weigh in? And
What-
was there an imminent threat? Did you tell lawmakers that there was an imminent
There
threat?
absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, There would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
President Trump then seemed to contradict Rubio's remarks, saying it was his opinion that Iran would strike first. And if anything, he might have forced Israel's hand.
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people, people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact.
And then Tuesday, another angle. Secretary Rubio pressed again, cited a unique opportunity, a likely reference to the discovery by CIA and Israeli intelligence that Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei and top officials were all gathering at the same place at the same time in Tehran on Saturday morning.
Nothing to do with Israel. It had nothing to do with Israel. This operation, there's a general question of why the president gave the green light, and then there's a question of why did it have to happen this weekend? Are you saying it had to happen this weekend because of that Israeli action?
No, this weekend presented a unique opportunity to take joint action against this threat. And we wanted this to have maximum success. We want this operation to be successful at achieving its objectives. I'll repeat the objectives. The president laid them out yesterday. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It cannot have, and therefore it cannot have the things it was hiding behind to have a nuclear weapons program. What are those things? Number one, we are going to destroy their missiles and their missile launchers. We are going to destroy their capability to make these missiles and these launchers, and we are going to destroy their Navy. Those are the objectives, and this weekend, acting at this time, gave us the highest probability of success in achieving those objectives, and as the Department of War will brief you, we are on or ahead of schedule to do that. The president had already made a decision to act on the timing. The president acted on the timing that gave us the highest chance of success, and that's what you're seeing play out right now. You're seeing it play out right now, and you'll see it in the days to come. We will systematically take apart their missile program. We will destroy their ability to sponsor terrorism, by the way. We will destroy their factories. We will destroy their Navy. Those objectives are going to be met. We're well on our way to meeting them. It will not be easy. There will be a price to pay for it, but that is a much lower price to pay than having a nuclear-armed Iran.
The Pentagon has been touting military successes with more than 2,000 targets hit, approaching total air superiority in Iran, and the sinking in international waters of an Iranian warship struck by a torpedo from a U.S. Navy submarine for the first time since 1945.
To date, we've hit over 2,000 targets, as Admiral Cooper said in his video last night. We've destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, including, in addition to the frigate outside of the area, one submarine, and effectively neutralized at this point in time Iran's major naval presence in theater out there. As the Secretary showed the video, for the first time since 1945, a United States Navy fast attack submarine has sunk an enemy combatant ship using a single Mark 48 torpedo to achieve immediate effect, sending the warship to the bottom of the sea. I want to remind everybody that this is an incredible demonstration of America's global reach. To hunt, find, and kill an out-of-area deployer is something that only the United States can do at this type of scale. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, CENTCOM will continue to strike infrastructure and naval capability, and we'll continue to assess our progress against the military objectives. It does take time for us to collect that information and to assess en route. Much of our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability is currently hunting and killing ballistic missile launchers and one-way attack capability. We're precise in that assessment, and we call balls and strikes in that assessment.
But the cost of war is already hitting American families. 6 American soldiers have now paid the ultimate price, and the president and other officials warn more casualties could come.
I would say Sunday. I'm sure everybody started waking up that morning, and you heard at the time that 4 people had been killed and many injured. And I think we talked with our son in Italy at the time, and said he had talked to Declan. And Declan just was checking in with him. And the reason being is Declan was 9 hours ahead of us. He was 2 hours ahead of his brother. So he called his brother. So Declan had been sending us updates every 1 to 2 hours, like, hey, everything's still good, I'm good, which goes to show you, you know, he was thinking about us, like, don't worry about me, and so forth. So he had checked in with his brother, and kind of based off of timing, you know, and what we know so far, we don't know specifics, but we're just making an assumption based off of timing that it was shortly after that phone call that he had gotten off with his brother, that this is when that happened and his operations center got hit. So, yeah. So, but at the time, you know, my wife had sent another message to him. I won't say what that is, but had sent a message and we didn't hear back, which, you know, they may not always be able to respond. But I will say most of us started to wonder, and your gut starts to get a feeling. And then we go to bed fairly early, so we got ready Sunday night to go to bed, and we had just turned the lights off and went into the bedroom, and the doorbell rang at 8 p.m.
I still don't fully think it's real, and I didn't think it was real when they told us, because I just remember all of our conversations about what he was going to do when he came back, and so I'll just be sitting and thinking about it, and then it's really hard, and I didn't have like the same phone call like this weekend that my dad and like my brother did, and so I just really wish I got to tell him I love him one more time, because he was just so amazing, and he always in front of everybody just was like really strong. He never let his emotions really show, but I don't know. I can't help but think just he was my little brother, and he was probably really scared even if he didn't want people to know. And so I just wish he got to know one more time that we all loved him, because he was so amazing and kind. And like my dad said, like he didn't like speak like that much, but like every little thing he did was just so, I know I'm just saying he was kind, but I don't know. He was just like the best little brother you could have.
Israeli President Isaac Herzog told CBS Evening News anchor Tony DeKopel that Israel is not asking for boots on the ground, while the White House is still refusing to rule out that option.
Can you clarify what this war is about? Is regime change the goal?
Not necessarily. What is the goal is Middle East change, meaning if you look at what we've gone through in the last generation, Iran consistently spread terror, hate, and destruction all over the region and the world. And it's about time that everybody tells Iran, guys, we're fed up. This has to change one way or another. If it will lead to the regime change, the more the better. But right now, undermining their capabilities in long-range missiles, in spreading terror with their proxies, in rushing to the bomb, and a lot of other things that they've been working on. I'm asking myself for years already, why does Iran set up terror cells in Brazil, in Australia, in Britain? It has a grand plan here. And if you read what they think, and if you listen to what they say, you understand they have a grand plan. And we're here to block this grand plan and bring a new change to the region.
Are you not concerned that without a clear end game, what you get could be worse than what you have?
It's always something that one needs to take into account. History teaches us that these things can happen. But there's not much of a choice when you know, okay, that they want to jump from 2,000 long-range missiles to 20,000. When you know that they have invested all their nation's resources and money in creating havoc in the Middle East as you try to make peace with Muslim countries. When you know that they have another new secret plan to rush to the bomb, you have to take action. That's it. And it comes from a certain ideology and a certain leadership that brought this on their people. And then you see how they butcher and kill tens of thousands of their people, and you understand there's no mercy for anybody. No mercy, definitely. No mercy for moderate Islam, no mercy for Jews, and no mercy for Christians.
The Iranian people, cut off from the world and under continued bombardment, have no clear leadership and an increasingly uncertain future, which comes as questions mount about a potential U.S. airstrike on at least one civilian target in Iran, a girls' school.
It's a war fought mostly in the skies, but on the ground, civilians are bearing the brunt. In Iran, thousands poured into the streets for a mass funeral for what health officials there say were at least 175 girls killed in an elementary school. And nearby, rows of graves seen, awaiting coffins. Israeli military spokesman Nadav Shoshani.
See them lying about some of the details of it. I can tell you that we haven't found any connection to IDF operations.
So you're saying it's not the IDF that attacked that school, but you're also suggesting that it might be some sort of misinformation?
I'm suggesting taking caution when using information that's provided by a regime that massacres their own people.
And across the region, commercial jets are grounded. The State Department says around 1 million Americans are stranded. President Trump acknowledging that the repatriation hasn't been smooth.
Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and who do you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly.
Kat Spitzer says that quick reaction left her stuck in Dubai.
That's been a little tough when you sort of hear that the government is kind of like, nope, there's nothing.
And across the region, the dreaded routine of sirens and missiles, and in Israel, bomb shelters.
Just closed the door to the bomb shelter. Dozens of people in here. You can see people bring their dogs, obviously their children. They've just come off the street, and this is the rhythm here in Tel Aviv.
Fleeing that routine is Tamar Rubenstein, who just arrived in Israel for a visit, pregnant with twins.
I'm getting close. I'm 23 weeks, so I didn't want to get to the point where I wouldn't be cleared to travel anymore.
Her exodus, 7 hours by train, then bus to Egypt, then flights to Athens, Munich, and finally Chicago.
So why not just wait until the missiles end and stay in a safe place?
I don't know how long this is going to go on for. There's such a lack of clarity.
Secretary Rubio has said that the U.S. is going to start to organize charter flights at some point soon to get people home. But given that this is an active conflict zone still, that's going to take a lot of coordination and deconfliction, and that means that those flights might be slow to arrive here. Matt Gutman, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
And as the war enters its second week, thousands of Americans in the Middle East are still struggling to get home. More embassies overseas are suspending operations, and regional allies are warning their air defenses are being quickly depleted by a continuing onslaught of Iranian missiles and drones. For CBS News, I'm Olivia Gazis in Washington.